Hey everybody, Harold here again with the sixth in our series on Power Query Ribbon. Today we move on to the Transform tab. A lot of the functions in the Home, Transform, and even the Add column are redundant, such as Group By, Data Type, Replace Values, Split Column. If I've gone over them in another video, I won't cover them here. I'll just mention that. Feel free to go back and watch my other videos to cover those functions. So, Transform tab. Let's get started. First on the Transform tab is Group By. We did that on the Home tab video. We also did use first row as headers. Just promotes the first row to your column headers. Uh, Here's some we haven't done yet. Transpose. Transpose treats rows as columns and columns as rows. So what if I wanted an individual column for each seller showing their sales? Well, I would select column seller, click on transpose, and now I have a column for each of my sellers showing their sales and categories and months and quantity. So that is transpose. I'm going to take that off. Reverse row. All that does is put the top rows at the bottom and the bottom rows at the top. It just turns it upside down. So we'll reverse rows, and evidently that's the bottom of the table, end of the year, and we'll take it back off, and the top of the table back to the beginning of the year. So that just reverse rows. If you want to know how many rows are in there, all that does count rows is count the rows. 41,629. We'll take that off. Back to the transform tab. You can change your data type here. We've done that on the home tab. We can also remember do it here on the column headers. This will automatically detect the data type of the currently selected columns. If they're not okay, ours are okay. This rename will just change the name of the currently selected column, so I can edit that. Just hit enter, take that off. I could just double click in here and do that also. Hit enter, take that off. Replace values was on the home tab. Fill is an interesting option. I've got a different query here to show you. Say I wanted to say February all the way down to March, and March all the way down to April, and April to the end. I can tell this column to fill the empty spaces down. Start at the bottom. I can say up. And all the Februarys are February, all the Marches are March, and all the Aprils are now April. Set the fill. Pivot column. Well, names in the currently selected column will create new columns. Just pivot the column. Say OK on seller. And now we've got new columns for the sales months. So we pivoted to columns. I'm going to take that off. Unpivot columns, I've actually got another table for that one. You can see here I have ID, product, and 4 stores. I just want to make one column for the store locations so I can unpivot these columns. But I might not want to do that in case I had, say, I added another store location in Munich. That might mess it up. So what I'm going to do is select the first 2 columns, use unpivot columns, and have unpivot columns, only selected columns or other columns. In this case, I'm going to pivot other columns in case I add a new table. a new column to the table. So now I have column for ID, product, attribute, which we'll call store, and value. I've pivoted store into a column. Next, we have move. Move. If I select a column, pick one here in the middle, like revenue. If I select a column, I can move it to the left. I can move it to the right. I could do the hokey pokey. I can move it to the beginning. I could move it to the end. So move just moves the column. Um, what if I wanted to take the revenue data, which I put on the end? I'm going to move it. Well, I'll just keep it on the end for now. If I want to take the revenue data and use it in a table or a list somewhere else in, I don't know, Excel, convert it to text string, use it in a Python, something like that. I'll just convert to list. Now I can take that object and use it in other applications. Split column, we went ahead, we did that on the home tab. Format is interesting. It's basically changing the cases, trimming, and adding to text strings. I can make this all lowercase, make it all uppercase, go back and capitalize each word. I can, which is now it should look, trim will take out any leading and trailing spaces. And clean will remove any non-printable characters in the selected columns. Add prefix, add a specified text value at the beginning. So if we found out, let's say all these people are now doctors, we could add dr period space. Now they're all doctors. Add suffix. Well, we better call them MD. So we'll say comma space D. We've done that. So that's prefix and suffix. Merge columns. If you have two columns selected, you can merge them into one. We'll put a space in between. Okay, we've done that. See in the merge column. Take that back off. Extract. Uh, we can extract the length of the text in the selected columns on the first characters. So like, oh, cancel. We got to select the right column. First characters. We'll take the doctor back off. Okay. I'm sorry, it's number of characters, starting characters to keep. So we'll just switch it to doctor. Okay. Sorry. So now it's just doctor only, and we'll take that back off. Extract. Last characters. Well, we could take the last, keep the last two, and it would just be MD. Take that off. We could do a range. So we could take off the fifth through the ninth character, or the five character, take off four more number of characters. Did that? That worked. Check before delimiter. Let's take the doctor off. So put space. Take that off. Next after a delimiter. space again. Take the doctor off. Extract between delimiters. Let's do space and space. Oh, I don't think I got it. Space and okay. So now we just have their first name. Take that back off. Extract. That was it for extract. Parse just lets you parse it into XML or JSON for use in a web or maybe a Python pandas data frame. Turns it into a object you can use in other applications if you're familiar with those applications. That is half of the transform column. I'm going to get into number, date and time, and structured column in the next one. It should be enough to digest for today. I've attached my files. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.